She noticed him because he didn't fit the morning rush. Everyone else surged through the subway station with practiced impatience, phones out, shoulders squared, eyes forward, but he stood near the tiled wall like someone who had misplaced time. His coat was too neat for a man who looked so tired. His gaze kept drifting to the floor, then up to the digital board, then nowhere at all. When the train thundered in, he flinched. Maya hesitated. She was already late. The cafe shift would start without her, and her manager would sigh that familiar sigh. Still, something tugged at her. She crossed the platform and stopped a polite distance away. "Hey," she said gently. "Are you okay?" He blinked as if waking from a bad dream. Yes. I think so." His voice was steady, but his hands weren't. "I'm just waiting." "For the A train?" she asked. "Yes. No. Maybe." He laughed once, a short, embarrassed sound. "I'm sorry. I didn't sleep." She nodded, recognizing the look. Exhaustion had a way of making the world tilt. "It's late again," she said, checking the board. "You've got time. Want some water?" He declined, then accepted when she took the bottle from her bag anyway and pressed it into his palm. Their fingers brushed. He seemed startled by the contact, then grateful. "I'm Maya," she said. "Daniel," he replied. He took a sip, breathed out. "Thank you." They stood together while commuters streamed around them. Maya felt the familiar anxiety buzz in her chest. She should go, but she stayed. She asked about his day. He said it had been long. She asked where he was headed. He said, after a pause, "Home." "That's good," she said. "Everyone deserves to get home." His mouth curved in a small smile. "You make it sound like a prize." "It is," she said. "On days like this." The A train arrived, doors yawning open. Daniel hesitated again. Maya nudged him forward. "This one," she said. "You've got this." He stepped on, then turned back, surprised. Are you?" "I'm not getting on," she said. "But you'll be fine." He looked at her as if he wanted to say more, then nodded. The doors slid shut. As the train pulled away, he pressed a hand to the glass, then lowered it, composed. Maya watched until he disappeared into the tunnel. She ran the rest of the way to work. That should have been the end of it. A brief kindness in a loud place, forgotten by the city before the next train arrived. Maya thought of him once or twice that day, the way you think of a stranger you helped carry a stroller up the stairs. She didn't expect to see him again. 2 weeks later, she spilled oat milk on a man in a charcoal suit. "I'm so sorry," she blurted, grabbing napkins. "I'll clean that, it's fine," he said, stepping back with a laugh. "It's just a suit." She froze. "Daniel." He looked closer, then smiled fully, like the sun had come out. "Maya." He was different now, rested, alert, but the recognition was immediate. She finished blotting his sleeve, mortified and relieved all at once. "Coffee's on me," she said. "Please," he replied. "I was hoping to ask you for one." They sat by the window, steam curling from their cups. He told her he'd found a new apartment closer to work, that the long nights had eased. She told him about the cafe, about juggling shifts and night classes. He listened with an intensity that made her feel like her words mattered more than they usually did. When he left, he tipped generously and paused by the door. "Can I come back?" he asked, a little shy. "Anytime," she said, meaning the cafe, though the word carried more than that. He did come back. Often. Sometimes alone, sometimes with people who looked important and bewildered by the cafe's mismatched chairs. Daniel always introduced Maya like she was the point of the place. She teased him about his habit of ordering the same drink. He teased her about her doodles on the order pads. It took a month before she learned the truth, and even then, not from him. A woman in a sleek blazer waited until the line thinned. "You're Maya, right?" she asked. "Yes." "I'm Lena," the woman said, extending a hand. "I work with Daniel." "Okay," Maya said, confused. Lena smiled, polite and careful. "I just wanted to say thank you." "For what?" "For being kind to him," Lena said. "That night." "And after." Maya laughed, embarrassed. "I didn't do anything special." Lena's eyes softened. "You did." You see, Daniel runs the company I work for. He doesn't like to talk about it. He carries a lot. He's very good at hiding it. Maya felt the room tilt again, just a little. He's your boss. He's the CEO, Lena said. And he's been different since he met you. The word different landed heavy. Maya replayed the weeks in her mind, the easy conversations, the way Daniel asked about her classes like they were a project worth funding. Obsessed would be too strong, she told herself. Grateful, maybe. Or just lonely. That night, Daniel lingered after closing. He watched her stack chairs, then cleared his throat. There's something I should tell you. She leaned on the counter. I already know. He winced. Lena. She meant well, Maya said. You don't owe me an explanation. I do, he said quietly. I should have told you sooner. I didn't want you to look at me differently. She studied him, the lines at his eyes, the careful way he held himself. I don't, she said. You're still the guy who couldn't decide if he was on the right platform. He smiled, relief breaking through. I think about that night a lot, he admitted. About how you didn't know who I was and helped me anyway. It reminded me of who I want to be. They stood in the quiet café, the city humming outside. Maya felt a warmth that had nothing to do with coffee. If you're worried I'll start treating you like a boss, she said, don't. This place is neutral ground. Deal, he said. And if you're worried I'll start treating you like, he stopped, searching for the right word. An idea instead of a person, I promise I won't. She believed him. Trust, she realized, wasn't about titles. It was about moments. Their relationship grew the way plants do when you forget to measure them. Slowly, then all at once. Daniel invited her to walk through the park after her shifts. He asked her opinion on things that had nothing to do with business. He showed her a city she'd lived in her whole life but never quite seen, rooftop gardens, quiet museums, a bakery open only at dawn. When the pressure of his work mounted, he didn't vanish. He told her when he was overwhelmed. She told him when she was tired of scraping by. They learned the language of each other's worries. People noticed. Headlines speculated when a grainy photo surfaced of them laughing over street food. Daniel hated the attention. Maya hated the assumptions. They talked it through, setting boundaries like grown-ups learning a new dance. I don't want to be a secret, Maya said. I don't want you to be a headline, Daniel replied. They compromised. Public enough to be honest, private enough to be theirs. The obsession people whispered about never took root the way gossip wanted it to. What Daniel felt was fierce appreciation, sharpened by memory. He remembered the cold tile under his shoes, the way his chest had felt too tight to breathe, the voice that cut through the noise and said, "Are you okay?" He carried that voice with him into boardrooms and late nights. It kept him human. When Maya's tuition bill came due, Daniel didn't offer to pay it. He offered to help her find scholarships. When she doubted herself, he didn't swoop in with solutions. He listened. When he spiraled, she didn't fix him. She sat beside him until the ground felt solid again. One evening, months after the subway, they stood on the same platform. The city was kinder in spring. Daniel reached for her hand. I used to think power meant control, he said. Now I think it's being able to ask for help. Maya squeezed his fingers. I used to think kindness had to be loud, she said. Now I think it's just showing up. The A train arrived. This time, they boarded together. Years later, when people asked how they met, the story softened around the edges. A café, a spill, a laugh. Maya sometimes corrected it. It was a subway, she'd say. And he was waiting. Daniel would smile, because he knew what she meant. He had been waiting for a stranger to see him as a person, and she had. Everything else, the titles, the success, the noise, had come after.